Empire.
We're talking lights out extreme fighting with former NFL star Shawne Merriman. What's up, everybody? It's the Football Jones podcast. I am Mike Jones. You can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. Hope you are doing great as this NFL offseason rolls on. Busy offseason, obviously. We got the CBA negotiations ongoing. The owners last week gave their final, what they say is their final proposal. The players are considering it. They opted on Friday not to vote on it. There's going to be a meeting between the owner side and the NFLPA's executive committee on Tuesday. And then it's believed that on Tuesday evening or Wednesday, the players will vote. And we'll see if they get this new CBA hammered out. There's questions on the players' part. Obviously, there's a lot of improvements in that deal. I wrote about that. You can go to usatoday.com or go to my Twitter feed and check out the links to what those specific improvements are, better benefits, pay increases, revenue sharing, things like that for the players. But it does come with some drawbacks, 17-game season, and the owners are willing to give 48.5% of the revenue sharing, up from 47%. Players want to get closer to 50%, but we don't know if that's going to happen. This is a good deal. Players know that, but there's just questions about can they get an even better deal. But the owners are desperate right now. They want to get this thing done so they can turn around next week and negotiate the more lucrative TV broadcast deals so they can assure their broadcast partners there's no work stoppage in 2021. But they're feeling generous right now because they want to get this thing done. Players want to make sure they're not getting hoodwinked. We'll see what happens here. It's going to be interesting. But until then, we're going to talk to, like I said, Shawne Merriman. At the Super Bowl week, I was able to catch up with him. He's working on his second act. Had a great NFL career, 3-time Pro Bowler, spent most of his career with the San Diego Chargers. Finished up with the Buffalo Bills, former Maryland Terrapin. And now, last several years, he's been really getting more and more involved with mixed martial arts. And since May, he's been running Lights Out Extreme Fighting, his fight promotion business, where he's promoting these fights out there in Los Angeles. They have, on March 13th, their 5th fight night coming up. One of the guys that's going to be fighting is former NFL defensive lineman Chris McCain. And it was a really interesting talk I had with Shawne Merriman there, Miami Beach, over lunch. And so we're going to hear from him now as he explains how he got into this, what his hopes are, and where this is all going. So here we go, sitting down with Shawne Merriman. What was it about after your football career?
Yeah.
And, I know you do the analysis work and all that kind of things like that, but what was it about this that appealed to you and made you feel like, this is the venture, the direction I want to take post-playing?
Yeah, so I grew up around a ton of boxers in that D.C., Maryland, Virginia area.
Right.
I mean, boxers in my family, pro boxing, it was out of my neighborhood.
Right.
So boxing was like just in combat sports in my blood anyway.
Yeah.
Grew up on that. And, fast forward to getting drafted by the Chargers in San Diego in 2005, and MMA had just kind of started to pick up and came on the scene.
Right.
My rookie year, I noticed that, I just wasn't using my hands well, and I watched my old footage and stuff like that, and I wanted to get better with my hands.
Right.
So I said, you know what? Let me try this MMA thing out.
Okay.
And I started to train with Jay.
Is that like the off-season? Or?
That was the off-season between
Okay.
2005 and 2006. So I started to train with Jay Glazer, Randy Couture, and I was playing with the Chargers. So everybody was, all the big fighters, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, these guys were at my game. So I was surrounded by MMA fighters.
Right.
Every
Okay.
offseason, I would start spending more time with them than anybody else.
Right.
So I kind of just fell in love with the sports. Every offseason, I started to do a little bit more. It turned in from just straight up striking to a little Muay Thai, and learn some kicks, learn some ground. And I knew that I was going to be involved in the sport when I retired at the end of 2012, but I didn't know to what capacity. Actually, I thought I was going to fight. We just told me.
Yeah.
And I was actually going to be taking my first fight with Bellator back in 2016.
Okay.
And the opportunity wasn't there.
Right.
Money, the timing of the fight, and if the opportunity was like it was now in the sport,
right.
when I retired in 2013, I would have rolled over full on into combat sports.
Okay. Gotcha.
100%, and I believe that I would have been a world champ by now.
What was it that because you could have done coaching, or whatever. Was it the adrenaline rush, the intensity of it that kind of drew you?
Being able to compete, and most players expect. Well, I can speak for myself. When I retired, man, I that part of it was missing.
Right.
And we're doing a broadcast. I was on the NFL Network.
Right.
And I had some stuff going on with the Lights Out clothing line and just building the Lights Out brand.
Yeah.
It didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
And the only way that I could feel like myself was to be able to compete again.
Yeah.
And so I just got back into it. I was sparring guys and doing different things or whatever. And 2017, I ended up meeting my partners, Steve and George, who own California Extreme Fighting. It was a small local league that a lot of the champs will leave and go to UFC and Bellator once they reach that level.
Okay.
I went there, and they were based in Burbank. And I went to 2 fights. And I said, man, we have to do this, and I want to be involved.
Right.
I sat down with them and I said, guys, I got a crazy idea. I want to partner up with you guys. I want to rebrand this as Lights Out Extreme Fighting.
Okay.
And you coming in and you don't know, someone thinks you're going to come in and try to take over the business and run everything and do all this other stuff. But I said I can add an element to this fight game that is missing in all the sport because of just my background and where I come from in the NFL. And I got a story to tell them why I love the sport so much.
Right.
And there's a lot of other guys out here that feel the same way about me, about the sport, that don't know how to transition into it.
Okay.
So that's what I've been really doing the last several months is talking to guys about transitioning.
Okay. So take us back before then. So the name Lights Out, that was your dance.
Yeah.
Where did that all start?
My sophomore year at Frederick Douglass High School in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, I knocked out 4 people in one game.
Okay. Right.
And this was pre-YouTube and all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, if they had YouTube and all that stuff back then, I'd be like a walking legend, just walking around like, yo, you knocked those 4 dudes out.
Right.
And right after the game, there was about 20 students coming running up to me after the game saying, oh my God, you knocked those dudes lights out. And I was like, yeah, call me Lights Out.
Yeah, okay.
And then that name stuck with me through high school, and it stuck with me through college and then the pros.
Right.
In 2006, I went to go and bought the name Lights Out from another company called PJ Salvage.
Okay.
A big company out of Irvine.
Wow.
And I bought the name rights, trademarks, everything involved in Lights Out because I wanted to own my name.
Yeah. And you had started, you did like an apparel. I mean, you had the apparel with Lights Out and everything.
So I started selling this local sports shops in San Diego. First actual store I sold Lights Out in was Sports Fever.
Okay.
In San Diego. They had about, I think, 10 or 11 stores, and I started understanding retail, understanding how the business worked. And it just, because I was playing with the Chargers, and I was playing well, and everything was big. We were just selling crazy. It was going extremely well. But I learned so much about the business and building the brand. But I always looked at Lights Out because it was in the clothes as a walking billboard for everything else I wanted to do. Okay. That was my theory behind the whole clothes. People walking around with Lights Out on. It's a walking billboard. People are promoting it in a sense for you.
Because I remember I was wearing a Lights Out T-shirt at training camp once, and Vernon Davis was like, "Oh, Shawne Merriman." It's like, where'd you get that from? You know what I mean? What's that? So like people recognize it.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible, man, because no one really taught me anything. I just took the time to learn and got around some very, very smart people. and start learning a lot of this stuff and learn how to license the brand and license the name and these license deal with other companies. I mean, just a lot of it is really self-taught.
Gotcha. So you've always kind of had that mind where you're definitely fully invested, but you're always looking to the next thing. So while you were playing and you still had that, how were you able to be as locked in as you needed to be to have the career that you had, but then also dabble in other ventures too? What kind of discipline, planning did that take?
Yeah, it was like you said, the discipline of it was the main part in understanding like time, right? And when I left practice, I would go sit in these meetings with Sports Fever to talk to them about orders. I'll just like take off my pads, run in, take a shower real quick, jump in the ice bath for 10-15 minutes, and go to the meeting with Sports Fever.
Wow.
And I ended up moving two of my close friends in my house to help me. They were great with graphic design and helped me facilitate a lot of this stuff.
Gotcha.
Because I couldn't do it all I realized I couldn't do it all by myself, so I just moved a couple friends in, and they were helping me build the brand.
Gotcha. Now, where do you think you got that kind of mind from? Was it your family or somebody that kind of like, because you could have just been like, oh, I'm a pro football player, that's enough. I mean, that's enough for a lot of people because that is a huge commitment.
Yeah.
But why was it that you were kind of feeling like, I'm capable of expanding my reach beyond that?
We grew up in PG County, man, and we lost a lot growing up due to fires. I slept in cars, I slept in shelters, slept in cheap motels with my mom and my sister, and I always had this drive to want more. And they always say like certain things mold you to be the person like you are, and they're like when you experience that and then you overcome it, now you feel like you can do anything. Like anything you can, like, so I get off practice and go and sit in these meetings and sell clothes? Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. And it was just that drive, man. I think that's just where it comes from.
Gotcha. So okay, you like you said, you thought about fighting yourself.
Yeah.
What made you, the competition and everything, but then what changed your mind, kind of changed your avenue so you're more so managing and promoting?
Yeah, so I think the main reason why I didn't, one it was the money. Like you gotta,
Yeah.
And
you're gonna get your face punched in.
Yeah, but see, I wasn't worried about that. Okay. See, most people are saying, "Oh man, you're gonna go mess up your face and all that." It's like, come on, man. I don't care.
You've been used to slamming your body.
Yeah, I'm slamming in my body my whole life. Yeah. It's not really that big of a deal. I mean, obviously you don't want that to happen, but it's a part of the sport. It was a time commitment of the training.
Okay, gotcha.
That it was going to take away from everything else that I was doing. Okay. So if you're training in, say, 8 or 9 week training camp, that's all you do.
Right.
So everything else I had going on in my life, I would have to kind of like put to the side and just do this.
Right.
So that's where I say the opportunity had to be big enough in order for me to shelf everything else. And even now, we're talking to my partners right now about me possibly fighting at some point.
Oh, really? Okay.
In Lights Out.
Gotcha.
And if we find a right opponent and we feel that people want to see it and it's big enough, I'll start training right away.
Gotcha. And I mean, you're used to taking care of your body from being a pro athlete.
Yeah.
And so you haven't, obviously, this is a podcast, you guys can't see him, you'll see pictures in the paper, and you see him on TV, he looks like he could play right now. So what's your daily training regimen like? Compared to how much you would have to train to be a fighter?
Yeah, I train 5, 6 days a week still, at least an hour and a half a day, and thank you. It's the first thing that I do when I get up in the morning.
Okay.
I'm 6:30 in the morning. I roll out the bed, and I got my choice of coffee or pre-workout. It's going to be one or the other.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And I go straight to the gym. From 7 to about 8:30.
Okay.
And I'll start the rest of my day from 9 till whenever I stop.
Okay. Gotcha. And so, being in that habit of training, it's nothing for you to be able to train for a fight. Then, if you decided to do that.
Yeah, exactly. What I would do, I train with a lot of other pro athletes, and pro MMA fighters.
Right.
I go down and spar to Long Beach, a couple days a week.
Right.
Just to stay in it, man. Just stay. I love to compete.
Right.
And I feel like if I physically feel good and my health is good and I feel strong, it allows me to do everything else that I'm doing. I can have these 13, 14-hour days, and I can keep going. And I also believe that if you stop moving after you're done playing what we're playing, your body will rust. Your mind will rust.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of guys that. I was talking to Antonio Gates about that when he's just retired.
Yeah.
I said, bro, don't stop.
Right. Yeah.
Go get some work in and keep moving and stand with it. And you don't have to go and work out like you're getting ready for the Chiefs next week. But you got to stay with it.
Yeah. So okay, what is that adrenaline rush, that competition? How would you describe? What does it feel like you're about to step out onto a field to play? What does that feel like?
Oh my God, man! It's one thing I always loved about fighters. They're a different breed. It's not even getting punched in the face. It's that third round and that fourth minute, and you're tired as hell, and somebody's on top of you.
Right.
And you got to find a way. And for me, there's a breakthrough in that and everything else. And that's why I do it. I try to push myself and see what my limits are and see what I can do. And sometimes I'll go out and I'll barf real quick and I'll take a breather, take a round off and come back in.
Right.
But it's really about testing your limits because there's something on the other side of figuring out if you can last.
Right.
And that's why I enjoy being in this business so much.
Gotcha. Now, as far as the guys that you're promoting, you've got a night coming up. Tell me about that. What you've got planned and what your vision for them is.
Yeah. So March 13th, we're at Commerce Casino for Lights Out Extreme Fighting, and we got some. So one of the former Chargers and Miami Dolphins is fighting in my league now, Chris McCain.
Okay.
Chris actually, I saw him training just hitting pads on Instagram a little over a year ago.
Okay.
And I said, hold on, dude, you can fight? He said, I'm all right. And I said, no, you're more than all right. 6'6", 230, built like, John Jones.
Right.
In my opinion, if he stays on this track, he's going to be the next world champion.
Wow.
And I've been trying to make a point that guys can transition into the sport. He had a crazy kind of situation. He got cut and he was done playing football.
Okay.
He said, man, when I'm done, I want to fight.
Wow. Okay.
And so I didn't believe him at first. A lot of people say, I want to, whatever, because they don't want to do what it takes to go into it.
Yeah.
He said, I'm done, I want to fight. He said, what do I need to do? I said, well, just come out here. I'll put you in the training camp, get you a coach, get you all set up, let's get you an apartment straight up, and let's go. He said, all right. And that was the last time I talked to him. 3 weeks later, he called me and said, yo, I'm here at LAX.
No way.
Swear. I'm here at LAX. Where do I go? What do I do? I'm looking at my phone, like, holy, he was serious. And I called down. I got him set up in Long Beach at the gym, Antonio McKee.
Right.
A lot of guys from Bellator train down there. We got him a place set up. Got him going, and he's right now 3-0 amateur.
Wow.
And he's going to turn pro here soon.
Okay.
But I want to make an example, like, guys, when you're done playing football, or done playing another sport, we got more other sports athletes from other fields.
Right.
That we're going to be announcing here pretty soon.
Okay.
And this is going to be a thing.
Right.
It gives people an opportunity to come over and compete again.
Right. All right, so tell me what goes into, so now not only are you wearing a different hat as far as like a businessman, you're also having to wear a hat as a talent evaluator.
Yeah.
So what goes into identifying, okay, this guy would actually be good as a fighter, he can make that transition, or whether or not you should decide not to waste your time on a guy?
Yeah, so George is our matchmaker, so it's really good because we look like the all-star team on paper. We all specialize in something different. And George, my partner, to me, is one of the best matchmakers in the business.
Okay.
I give recommendations when I see certain guys, but for the most part, I don't touch it.
Right.
You know, I'll let George do it, and that's what he's really good at. My other partner, Steve Bash, he's an attorney.
Okay.
And it's always good to have one of those.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And he does, a lot with obviously the contracts and things like that,
Okay.
but also on the production side.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you. And I'm bringing in more to the business development. Bringing obviously the eyeball is a big part of the marketing and PR that goes on with the company. Sponsors, our partners. Everything that happens outside the company is me.
Okay. Gotcha. Right.
So,
right, yeah.
But I love it though, man. It's like it's one of these things where when you see things growing, it makes you want to just go harder.
Right.
And some days I'll take 8 or 9 meetings.
Right.
I don't care, and if I got people and guests that's coming, sponsors or partners, whoever, I'll go run tickets outside myself.
Wow.
This is not one of these things where. I'm just like the face and not doing anything. Like, whatever it is, I roll up my sleeves and I go get after it.
Gotcha. Now, this will be streaming, is what the plan is right here?
Yeah, so.
How does all that work, and how have you noticed media and social media and the internet just changing the way that fights are promoted, the way you get visibility and things like that?
So right now we're on Fox Sports West and Prime Ticket.
Okay.
And we also show on Fox Sports San Diego, so regional Fox.
Okay.
But we're in the process of talking to some big streaming companies because it's that time where people need to see us not only in the country but internationally.
Right.
We have a great international following, a bunch of guys that have different cultures and backgrounds, and it's going to be drawing a lot of eyes.
Gotcha. So far, with some of your fights so far, some of the amateur ones, what is that like for you as you're standing there and you're watching, a guy that you've seen his training, you've seen all the work he's put in, and you're watching him in that fight?
And man, it's one of these things where you it's like you go out as a coach, right? They design the play, they do something, it's executed. You're like, happy as hell. That's how I feel.
Right.
Even guys like Chris McCain, right? This is a guy that was in North Carolina and trying to figure out the next stages of his life, and he made a commitment, and I made a commitment. And to see him right now to be 3-0,
right?
Things are going well in his life, and he's happy, and these guys got stories to tell. I mean, it's that to make that transition from football to life is not easy.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot. And we're gonna be able to talk about some of the struggles that these guys have. Not just football, but other sports. When they're done, they're like, and we got a guy from NHL, just coming over.
Okay.
It's a struggle trying to figure out what in the hell do I do next. You can't physically go out and play the sport that you played, but this is an alternative.
Gotcha. What are some of those struggles that you've encountered and that you experienced yourself and that you've heard from guys?
Yeah, well, you got UFC and Bellator that's kind of taking up a lot of the market. Dana White and those guys have done a magnificent job in building such a great brand that even sometimes you hear people say MMA, they think UFC automatically.
Right.
Oh, you got the UFC thing? Like, no, we got our thing. So I would say that's the biggest struggle is getting out there and let people know that we're on the rise and we're the next up and coming.
Right.
And it's not to take anything away from UFC or Bellator, but we have something special and we want people to see it.
Gotcha. Now, obviously, guys they have livelihoods. They're doing this. So it takes, I guess, a bit of like faith and commitment too. That
because early on, there's not a lot of money in it.
Right.
We can't pay our amateurs.
Right.
Obviously, they get sponsors and stuff like that, but we can't pay our amateurs. So there is a little bit of commitment, but a lot of these guys didn't have a whole lot going on, and they want to get back out there again.
Yeah.
Man, it's being secluded and feel like you're not a part of nothing is a terrible place to feel and be.
Right.
And I experienced a little bit of that, even though I had tons of stuff going on. I still felt that way a little bit. Like you're not in the locker room anymore. You're not around people. And I see now, like you with Chris McCain, it's like happy. This dude's naturally, and then he's happy punching people in the face. But he's happy the way things in his life is going and things like that. And that, in turns, make me happy as a former athlete because I know what that dark place looked like.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I've heard from guys that one of the worst times when they're injured on injury reserve, the season's over, or when they're not playing, is just that interaction, that camaraderie. So how were you able to navigate your way through that? And what would your advice be to some guy who has just retired and he's kind of in that dark place?
Just stay active, right? Get back around, get back out there.
Right.
Whether that's going to do TV, podcast, radio, train, join groups, panels, whatever you can do, get out there and get active. And always, if you want to come sign with Lights Out, you can.
Right.
But guys get out there, and we got media day. So again, now they got cameras back in their face again. They're talking to reporters again. You feel like you're a part of something again.
Right.
And I see the transition with these guys and just their emotions alone.
Right.
This is a really big deal, and I have more content in the show coming about just this.
Right. So what is your vision? What do you think, like a year from now, 2 years from now? What are you hoping, expecting that the Lights Out is going to look like?
Well, we have some tremendous fighters right now. Obviously, we got some guys we would like to sign long term that we have currently, and some guys that we are looking at to sign currently. But in the mix of all of this, we want to provide a platform for former athletes to transition out of whatever they're doing. I can tell you every day, I get a text message, email, or a DM on my social about an athlete saying, "Hey, man, either they're retired already, or they're about to."
Right.
They say, "Hey, man, I'm really thinking about it." We got one offensive lineman who just retired and said he's going to drop 50 pounds and let's go.
Wow.
And I said, "Okay." Chris McCain did it, and that was the last I heard, and it came through. So I think there's going to be a real thing in the next year where you're going to have not only athletes but entertainers transitioning into combat sports, fighting maybe another entertainer. I mean, it's going to be a big deal, and it's not traditional anymore.
Right. Does it? I guess it's got to make you feel good too. That not only is this scratching that competitive itch, but you're also giving guys something for life that that benefits them in more ways than one.
Absolutely. And I just hope to provide that platform. The guys want to have a 10-year career, 5-year career, just a couple years, and kind of get back on their feet and get back involved in things again. You never know, but it does change the course of what these guys have going on.
Yeah. Now, I've seen some of your videos on social media when you were training for your fight. Those workouts are no joke. Mm-hmm. How much more or how different are they than like an NFL workout?
Very different, man. I mean, the mindset is the same.
Yeah.
Pushing through and the discipline and learn. People don't know exhaustion until you're exhausted, right? So you got nothing left, and you have to find a way to do something one more time. So you have that as an athlete, so you know how to push yourself.
Right.
The difference is in this sport is you're going against people that's been doing it a lot longer than you.
Yeah.
So they're more technical than you. They have more experience. But as an athlete, you're not walking in with two left feet, so you can kind of go in there and mess around with anybody. You can compete with anybody.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you don't have the experience in the sport, it's not gonna go well. So it's really more learning your craft. In football, like if you're just a big monster and explosive beast, you're gonna do all right.
Right.
Just get on the field, catch a ball, make a play. You're just a phenom of an athlete.
Right.
In this sport, you have to learn the little stuff, sitting on your punches,
Yeah.
your defense, your ground game defense. It's little things that you can possibly get in trouble with if you don't know your craft.
Gotcha. All right, so Shawne, tell us once again what you got coming up, what the slate is, and where people can find it.
Yeah, March 13th at Commerce Casino, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 5 now. We just launched in May, and the steps and leaps and bounds that we've done already, it's kind of scary a little bit. I'm even walking down here because we were at some point on Fox Sports Sun, which is Florida.
Right.
And I walked down here like, I was just watching your MMA league the other day, and I was at the bar. I'm like, oh crap! People know it's getting out there.
Right.
So yeah, so then we'll be in San Diego at the end of March at Saquon Casino.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And so, obviously, it'll be broadcast, you said, on
Fox Sports
Fox
West
Sports,
and Prime
Fox
Ticket,
West.
and hopefully a streaming service by then.
Okay, and then where can everybody find you? If they should be already following you on social media.
Yeah.
But where can they find you?
At Shawne Merriman on Twitter and Instagram,
Okay.
and company is at Lights Out XF.
All right, good deal. Man, I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Good luck to you. Be looking forward to seeing how it plays out and what this looks like a couple years from now.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how this grows. You can see and feel his passion. Like I said on there, he gave you his social media stuff. Go there. He's got videos. You can go. I wrote about this came out last Friday. I think it's in print on Monday, but you can go online, usatoday.com, to read about it. Also have some video with that story, so you can see Shawne Merriman and Chris McCain working out together. And anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I am about to pack and head off to Indianapolis for the NFL Scouting Combine. I will come to you there with some action from the Combine, hopefully news about the CBA. When I talk to you guys next time, again, read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. And take this link, send it to your buddies, send it to your family and friends, and continue to spread the word. Thanks. I appreciate it. Have a great one.